It's a style of just trying to make sure that you are doing the right thing.
I want to talk about the community thing real quick. You know, Clyde, when that girl walks in the coffee shop and you do a double take, maybe it's a triple. You know, we've all been in that situation. For some ladies, some guy walks in, sharp-dressed guy. You take notice of something real unique that kind of walks into your midst. When I was doing those beautiful pizza meetups, when we were having a very lively conversation about things that are relevant to all of us, parents, people that were taking their kids in there to get pizza, they stop, they look, they don't know me from Adam, they don't know the other people in the group, but they can see the connection between us. That's why I kept saying for a long time, come to the meetup group. By the way, I'm doing Liberty News Radio 6 to 7 Pacific time, libertynewsradio.com, so I'm no longer doing the meetup group during the weekday. But while we were doing that, it was good to see that it affected other people in a positive way, not a negative way. That we were taking the information that we know, and somehow, some way, we were trying to come together, and still are trying to come together on the things that we agree with.
Well, it's unfortunate that our own shows and things are taking us away from those community meetings. I used to do the Ground Zero Lounge at Dante's. On behalf of everyone that's been involved, I'd like to thank Frank at Dante's for giving me the opportunity for 5 years to do that show there. It was a community meetup. We got together. We talked about the issues. I did PowerPoint presentations for people. Yeah. But one thing that I want to say,
as it evolved.
It did. It got better as it evolved. I want to say this much though: the press in Portland. Someone has dropped the no ambition bomb on them. They don't go after people like me and Alex only to criticize us. And I wish that they would see us and they would interview us and talk with us about what we're really feeling, what we're really seeing, and realize that they have a friend in us if they want one. But it just seems to me that anyone who wants to speak different than the consensus here in this town, sometimes they basically get shut off. Well, and I want to thank you guys, because I'll tell you something.
It's about you guys.
Sometimes when I walk down the street, there are people who come up to me and they say, we see you on TV with Alex. We've seen you on, I used to do a show here called Mad as Hell TV. We've seen you and we love what you're doing. And that makes me feel good when people say those things, because it makes us feel like we're doing something important. If you see us, or if you have something you want to say to us, I'm always open with talking with people, because I want to get to know my community and who I know and who I'm with and who I can count on. And I think everyone should try that too, because we're just people trying to have a spiritual experience, or spiritual people trying to have a physical experience. That's whatever you want to say. We're trying to live a good life, and everybody wants to have good things. And I just wish that we could cut through the crap, cut through the polarization, and understand that we're all in this together. And quite frankly, the polarization is the state basically trying you to fight against people.
And I know, Clyde, that at one point in the future, hopefully, what I'm doing today will be less threatening to people in my community, and they'll understand why we talked about and why you've talked about for years, things that people deem to be scary and negative and non-enlightening. But there's certain things, certain facts of reality, why we want to become spiritual and be happy, that we have to look at. And that's, look, we made our bed, we have to clean it up. And so it's my hope, Clyde, that the citizens of Portland, Oregon, viewers, listeners of your show, viewers of your YouTube channel, and the same thing for mine, that we can all come together and realize that it's about the principles, not personalities here.
It's intellectual honesty. If you want intellectual honesty, you'll hear everything. You'll be a liberal listening to a conservative radio station. You'll be a conservative listening to a liberal radio station, so you can see how the other side thinks. Or you're going to be listening to your own people, chirping your own agenda over and over again, and not necessarily getting to know people for who they are and who they are. And I know that people can become vicious if you bring up something that seems to be, criticizing the president. Oh, are you anti-Obama? I remember I did a whole show at Dante's talking about global warming and talking about intellectual honesty about global warming. And what happened? I got attacked. I was told I was being paid by the major oil companies to say that I don't see global warming.
You don't
happening,
like Obama?
And you're a Bush supporter.
You don't like Obama?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, look, no, I love Barack Obama. Now, he's funny.
Let's bring it back to racism.
He's
they're
great.
saying if you criticize the president, you're a racist. It's like they're totally confusing now. It's almost like an artificial drugging.
Who says that? White people? Do white people say that?
Chris
White guilt?
Matthews is saying basically, if
and
you're
Chris Matthews said that for a moment there he didn't know that he lost track of the fact that Barack Obama was a black man. What he just said there indicates to me that he looks at black people as being handicapped. Because quite frankly, Obama, black or white, great speaker, great orator, he's a great guy.
On the topic of that, Jesse Jackson has been accused of calling African Americans in the Northwest as being a little less capable than they could be, in particular University of Oregon students. He said they were more interested in playing ball than actually getting a degree. And although I don't agree with Lars Larson did make the point of going statistically, they're actually doing pretty good down there. And so I'll tell you what, if a white guy said that, they'd be calling him a racist.
White
but
guys can
because
say it,
Jesse
though.
Jackson did it, it's okay.
But no. This is what you need to understand. You can say it, okay? You can say it, and it's up to the people to judge if it's a racist statement or not.
Right.
Okay? I mean, look, I've been open with I have no racial biases or whatever. I've been open with any kind of epithets or whatever with people of color. I've been involved with all types of groups from...
I love being mixed race, Clyde.
Well,
it's just quite a trip.
Well, I'm just saying, and I tease you about being mixed race too, but it's not because I'm a racist, it's because I love the races, and I love being different, and I love being equal, and I love it all. And people, I think, see that. If you have that zeal, I don't think anybody's going to judge you, but if you're critical of race, and if you're critical of immigrants, and if you're critical of these, sure, people are going to misconstrue you, but you know what? I would rather be told that I'm racist and have them be wrong than being afraid of expressing myself and my love for people that
we don't
I'm
support
around.
hate crime legislation that can really be used to criminalize free speech against the government. They're saying that that's racist. You can't criticize the government. They're not going to be calling it racist when a white Republican comes in office. They can only use that for so long. The real reason I like being, mixed, and I guess I'm come full terms and accept what I am, although a lot of people don't accept it, even within my own community, or don't understand it, is that it gives me the flexibility to kind of non-associate with any group. To not associate with the Afghan heritage or the white side, or even to not pick. That's why I named the show Outside the Box. You have Ground Zero for a reason. From my experience, I chose it to be outside the box because I didn't want who I am, what I identify with spiritually, politically, also my views on September 11, 2001, and who was really behind that, to not be confused with any racial or biological background of yours truly.
Well, the idea of Ground Zero means clean slate. Leave your prejudices at the door. Leave your assumptions at the door. We're going to open up the story no matter how crazy it sounds. We're going to talk about it. We're going to analyze it, and you're going to decide the whole thing, whether or not it's true, false, or whether or not you're indifferent to it. I was going to call the show Tabula Rasa. Same thing, clean slate. The idea that you were going to just abolish everything you know, or try to open it up for other discussion and be free. A lot of people have a hard time free thinking anymore, and a lot of people say that things like that died with 9/11. I want to bring it back because we need to be more open-minded. And I'm not saying leave your mind open so any crap can come in and stay there. But what I'm trying to tell you is that yes, we need to. We live in the 21st century, and a lot of people are still stuck in the 20th century. Racism is 20th century. The idea of race. The whole divisiveness of the race issue is becoming an issue because people make it an issue. If you understand and love people who are of different races or different sexual orientations, if we accept the fact that we're all pretty much weird and interesting and fascinating, and we all have our tastes and our abilities to involve ourselves. If we look at it that way, we look at the world as some rainbow of differences, but still we all bleed red blood and we all smell the same in the bathroom. We need to understand, that this is the human experience. The paranormal experience is the human experience. The mysteries of life is the human experience. All of the things that we do are to edify and to create a human bond. I'm not saying we need to universally be an ecumenical brotherhood of love and wonderful things, because we do have tendency to have differences, and sometimes those differences lead to war. But what I'm saying is that we need to keep our heads together, and we need to stop listening to these gurus who think they got it made just because they have money. Money does not mean intelligence. It does not mean class, and it most certainly does not mean that you're getting the right information from people. Look at your heart. See what your heart has to say, and don't go with the flow just because you're afraid you're going to look bad in front of your neighbors and friends. Go with what is right and stick to it. And that's what's important right now, especially now when we're at a point in our time, in our history, where it is obvious that your government is now stating to you that you are a target if you even appear to be in a situation where you're anti-American or a threat to this country and a threat to this encroachment of this police state New World Order. You need to remember this, because they stated it, and they come right out and tell you. In the Project for the New American Century, they told you when Bush Sr. made his speech 11 years before 9/11, he said, a new world order is being forged. New world order is being forged. This is the New World Order. It's here now. The police state's here now. And now we have to live with it unless we can find ways to better ourselves and do better and think better things of